Every so often, West Ham get linked with an overseas player that I've heard of. I say every so often. It doesn't happen too frequently. I do not have an encyclopedic knowledge of the European game. I don't even have an encyclopedic knowledge of this player, but he is somebody, on the rare occasion, he's come to my attention, and I've watched him play, and I thought, oh, I wouldn't mind it if we signed him. And then we've been linked to him. Knees Up Mother Brown have linked us with this player. I'm going to talk about him today and a few of the other news bits and pieces. There's not a lot going on at West Ham at the moment, so I thought I'd lump it all together. By the way, at the end of this video, I will be revealing who has won this fine Jimmy Walker signed book. So stay tuned. I really appreciate all the messages that are on there. Well, most of them. Anyway, we'll deal with that later on in the video. Hákon Arnar Haraldsson. That is the guy's name. He is an attacking midfielder, an Icelandic attacking midfielder. And you may well ask, how do you know about him? Why would you know about this guy in particular? Well, actually for two reasons, as it happens. The first time I became aware of him, and I can't believe I'm going to talk about my son's FIFA career or FC25 career for a second day run-in. But he signed him. So on whatever FC25, he's one of the young up and coming players who blossoms and grows into a fantastic star, right? So he does this. My son goes onto FIFA and he goes onto this website. I think it's called Footwears or something like that, and he finds out who are going to be the biggest growers. And when you're in career mode, you buy one of these players and then you sort of nurture them and you train them up, and they start off as an average player, become a really good player. I'm sure you're all familiar with the concept. Anyway, so I was aware of him from that, but more importantly, like everybody else, the more West Ham became linked with Jonathan David, particularly this season, and then when you factor in Angel Gomez as well, the more I was watching Lille, keeping an eye on them, having a look, and just basically watching what was going on. And that is when this guy, Hákon Arnar Haraldsson, came to my attention. And I remember thinking, wow, this guy's good. Wouldn't mind him at West Ham. He's attacking midfielder. And I thought, well, hold on, this is ridiculous. You know, if you're a regular watcher of the channel, I don't think we're going to get Jonathan David, and I would love to think that we would get Angel Gomez, but as things stand, we ain't done too well in negotiations. They walked away from negotiations with us when we were starting to negotiate for Gomez in January. Hopefully that has improved. Hopefully talks have got a little bit better. Not heard that they have, but you can hope. And I like Gomez. I discussed this in yesterday's video. Low centre of gravity. Again, somebody, I watched him play for England under Lee Cars. I thought, oh, wow, I'd love this guy. He reminds me a little bit of Jack Wilshere, but he plays further back. And I don't mean the Jack Wilshere version that West Ham got, who was hiding in a tumble dryer. I mean the young, up-and-coming kid at Arsenal who played so brilliantly against Barcelona and looked like he was going to go on to be one of the best midfielders in Europe. He's got a similar sort of pass and move vibe to him as Gomez, albeit from slightly deeper. I really like that type of player. But anyway, so I was watching Lille. I was thinking, we can't go and nick all of Lille's players. Look, two of them are on free transfers. Jonathan David, Angel Gomez. They ain't got much choice in it. Whoever gets them, gets them. They bring some players through. It's not just him, by the way. They've really got some outstanding up-and-coming talent. And when you look at some of these European teams, and I would use Lille as an example, I'll tell you why Lille are a good example, because they're not even the best at it. Yet when you look at them, you realise they are light years ahead of West Ham at this stuff. So, I think they got him from Copenhagen. He's only been there 5 minutes. He's having a tremendous season. This kid is skillful. He's two-footed, travels really well with a ball. He's like the nutmeg king. They don't call a nutmeg. I think they might call it a panna. I don't like it. I'm always resistant to change. He's the nutmeg king. He's doing it for fun, and he does it so often. You think, well, this is not a coincidence. He's really worked out his timing on this stuff. A beautiful eye for a pass, and even if he sees, you can go and you can watch a lot of him supplying Jonathan David, basically. And you can see he wants to supply him. And even if the pass isn't on, like it's being blocked off, he'll try and do a chipped pass, or he'll sort of flick it round the defender. He's very, very inventive, very inventive. And I watched this guy and I thought, wow, this is a really, really good player. Fantastic. They didn't sign him for much money, by the way. Now, obviously, he's going to be worth a lot more than that now. And I don't know, 4, 5, 6 million euros, something like that. It was a small amount of money. How much would he be worth now? I don't know. But I'm just reading here. Yeah, I mean, it was linked by Knees Up Mother Brown, and that was yesterday's news report that they did. Looks to be some player. It really does. I'd love to think we can do it. If we're going to get, let's in fact forget whether you think we're going to get Jonathan David or not. Let's even imagine we miss out on Jonathan David, but we still want a striker. We can all at least hopefully believe that much. We're going to need somebody to supply him, as there's no bugger doing it at the moment, right? We're going to need somebody like this to do it. Going to need someone creative, someone really inventive. This is the guy. I say this is the guy. There's going to be a number of these players across Europe who can do this stuff. In fact, there's a Greek player whose name is so long. I'm not even going to try and say it, but I think his name begins with a K, and I think his name is even longer than Mavropanos. He's another one, really good, young, attacking midfielder. There's lots of these players out there, just we never seem to get them. I'd love us to go for this player. I think this would show real ambition, absolutely. Anyway, that's that. Couple of other things, strongly linked again with Kyle Walker-Peters. I don't mind this at all. I think this is a really sensible move. He is flexible. He can play in a number of positions. So can Aaron Wan. Almost forgot his name. How can I forget Aaron Wan-Bissaka's name? So is Wan-Bissaka. There's a couple of people that said, we don't need him because we've got Wan-Bissaka. That's not my reading of the situation at all. He's played a lot of this season on the left-hand side, Walker-Peters, and looks brilliant as well at it. But well, I think so. I've not watched loads of Southampton, but every time I see Southampton play, him and the young lad who wears his socks around his ankles, Dinkle, something like that. Him and the young player look the best players for Southampton. I think we should take him. Another free transfer. I mean, we're going to have to be quite canny. We're going to have to be quite clever with this stuff, aren't we, really? If we're going to go and bring players in, to get a couple of free transfers is going to be a very, very shrewd and important thing to do. Also, ex-West Ham United employee. I'm just looking for the links here. I can't find them. I know it's true because I remember reading them yesterday. He's linked us with a couple of players who play in the Danish league. One of them is a striker called Zhu, who plays for Midtjylland, or as I used to call him, Midtjylland. He's not small, he's a big player, to be fair. And the other guy is a fullback. I couldn't tell you anything about him. These are, again, young, up-and-coming players. We would assume... Well, funny enough, I was going to say we would assume that Carl McCauley has identified these players. Not necessarily, because Tim Stuyton was actually building up a dossier of Danish-based players. In fact, Ibrahim Osman, when we went in for him, he was from a Danish team. Although we did get slightly confused, didn't we? At the time, if you've been watching that long on this channel, So what Graham Potter did say is, whilst he did want to sort of overhaul the scouting process at West Ham, he didn't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. He said, I don't want to undo all the good work that's been done. So, if there was a dossier, if there was a file of these players in Denmark, then, maybe the work was done by Stuyt. And that being said, obviously both McCauley and Potter worked for, was it 8, 9, 10 years in Sweden at Östersunds? So they're going to have, you'd imagine they still have contacts in the Scandinavian footballing pyramid, if there is such a thing. Anyway, there you go. So there's more than that, but I think that's the juicy stuff. I was going to talk about James Trafford, but I just literally clicked on and see Gio's done I saw 4 goalkeepers. I only recognised 2 of them actually, and he's done now. And one of them, obviously going to talk about James Trafford. So I will talk about that another day. We'll save that. We'll bank that one. What I do want to do is talk about the book. I'm not going to talk about the book. One of you is just going to read it because one of you has won it. So thank you to everybody that's got involved in that. What I would like to say on this one is, look, thanks for everybody that's getting involved, and congratulations to the winner, who I will message in a second. I'm going to reveal the winner on this. When I did this video, I won't leave you hanging. The winner's Peter Jennings. I don't want to think, oh, you hold on, you held me hanging and you kept talking for 2 minutes or whatever. The winner's Peter Jennings. I'll put up the winning post on screen. I'll try and edit it in. I did the video last Sunday, and I didn't really know what the video was going to be at the time. I thought I wanted to talk about Graham Potter, but then I got a surprise. Gio had said to me, open this parcel when you're doing your video. So in the end, I actually opened the parcel. I was thrilled. I got the book. Gio said, give this to one of the subscribers, which we're going to do now. And he also gave me a present if you watch the video, and it was a Wan-Bissaka shirt. Absolutely thrilled with that. So it was a bit of a mishmash video, but we had a little bit of fun. I also mentioned on it was my daughter's birthday. It was her 20th birthday. And so what I asked for on the comments was size is everything. And there's a little footnote at the bottom, a little subtitle if you want, which says a footballing glove story. Now, what I asked was for people to rewrite that. And I said I will pick the funniest one, which is what I've done. I thought Peter Jennings was the funniest one. But it was a fun video. It was like a bit of a box open. It was a bit about Potter. I felt we had a laugh. And so many people joined in. And there were some really, really funny ones on there. And not only that, there was people saying, oh, Bob, happy birthday to your daughter as well. And it was Westwood Hammer said it was his daughter's birthday as well on the same day. And I think it was Des, or was it Des, also said, oh, my daughter's birthday today. She's 27. So there was a lot of jokes, a lot of back and forth, a lot of happy birthday. It was nice, right? Yet still, right? There's just some wankers, right? There's still some people saying, I don't like this. You're boring. What shit video is this? My gosh. What are people like? Honestly. And I had to laugh anyway. I've got a block policy now, so they're gone, because I love the interactions. I did love the, I just want to encourage more of that. As I said to you before when I did my video, when I was a bit moany about everything before, a month ago or whenever it was. And it's so funny because you are very much building a YouTube community, and you get to recognise familiar names and people that post all the time. And off of that, I just want to point you to, before we get to the winning post, to Mike. Mike has got so... This is what I talk about, being invested and getting involved in the channel. Mike has changed his avatar to a picture of me holding up the lube. Now, if you didn't see the video, Gio tried to catch me out. Basically, Gio said, I want you to do an unboxing video. And yes, the Wan-Bissaka shirt was in there. The book was in there, which Peter's won. And but this fell out. I picked it up. So he obviously wanted to catch me out online. And I said, did this little bit on the video, saying, like, naughty Gio. He just wants me to be photographed holding a tube of lube. And I love the fact that Mike has screenshotted it and used it as his avatar. So, yeah, lovely, Mike. Well done for getting involved. And what I'm going to do for that, because it did make me laugh, it's one thing me moaning about trolls and whinging about stuff and all the other. I've got something here, and it's the last one I've got, but it's a Hammers Chat coaster, all right? This is yours, my friend. This is absolutely yours. I think there might be a little film on it or something like that. I'm not going to... It's one of those ones, you get like a protective film on your TV or on your phone or something like that. Oh, there you go. Look, it's starting to come off now. I'd say it's got a protective film on it. It's there. Can you see it? There you go, because it's shiny underneath. I'm going to put that back on for you. Mike, I'm going to send you this, mate, because I think you're funny. You're always engaging in the right way on the channel. And there you go. There is your Hammers Chat coaster. I'll try and get some more made up. They were made by my friend Collywob, who's not been in the best of health, bless him. So I'll, when he gets back on his feet, I'll see if he can make us up some more, and we'll do some more giveaways for nice folk like Mike. Right, here's what Peter Jennings said. So we go back to the bottom of the book, which is Jimmy Walker, a footballing glove story. I said just replace that. Peter Jennings has said, so just replace that with David Seaman, not in my box. And I like that. That goes with my puerile sense of humour. So there was a very, very similar one, but you posted it after Peter. So I'm going to have to go with Peter's as the original, or the OG, as my young daughter says. My 20... My 20... I don't know. My youngest daughter, I've got 3 daughters, my youngest says the OG, original gangster, apparently. There you go. You learn something every day. Loads of really, really good ones. Thanks for joining in. We'll try and do more of that stuff. I do appreciate it. Nice to have a laugh. All the people that didn't enjoy it, it's fine. It's a weird one. It is a weird one. I always find it's fun. It is funny, and I'm glad I can laugh about it. Because basically, imagine going onto a YouTube channel and then imagine. I'm sure we've all done it. I don't. You've gone on to saying, "Oh, you're watching a program or something. You think, I don't enjoy this." You switch off or you switch over, right? But actually, I don't like you. Okay, thank you. Well, he's not winning the book, is he? And yeah, it is funny. Anyway, there we go. So that's why I've left this at the end. So I didn't want anybody that saw I was going to be talking about Haraldsson, or anybody else for that matter. I didn't want them to be bothered with this. Congratulations, Peter. Congratulations. I will message you with an email, and then you can contact me, and then I'll get it sent out to you, my friend. And Mike, same to you, buddy. Right, catch you tomorrow.